There will never be another moment like there is right now. And for all of us, and certainly for me at 80, today is the youngest day of my life going forward. I'm going to love it. I'm going to cherish it, and I'm going to take advantage of it. Hi, everybody. It's Diane Gilman, formerly known as the Queen of Jeans, but now the proud host of Too Young to Be Old, my podcast. So this is a little bit of a follow-up to my 80 is a new 80 birthday podcast. And yeah, I am living my best life, but I'll tell you what, it ain't automatic, people. It is intentional. I've also chosen to live out loud and share with you what it's like to look back on more than 3/4 of a century. If I had to give one piece of advice, it is about being nimble in your mind and mobile in your pursuit of knowledge, new facts, kinds of entertainment, anything that has an enrichment quality to it. Someone had a very wise saying, seasons change, people should too. I am amazed at two things. Number one, everybody wants to give me advice. Oh no, don't live this way, live this way. Oh, why aren't you la la la? Oh, you're not doing it right. You got to do it like this. How would you know? You're all 35 and 40 years old. Get into my old bones, my creaky old bones, and then tell me. But bottom line is, society, this society we live in is so youth obsessed and so perfection, AI, millions of filters kind of viewpoint that in a way, you have to really create your own world around yourself as you get older because we don't show old people. I get the same thing all the time, whether it's interviewing a guest for the podcast, going out, being served a meal, walking into a museum and having someone recognize me, going shopping, whatever it is, people say the same thing. Oh, Diane, I really admire you for getting out of the house. Really? That's it? That's all I have to do for you to respect me and admire me? Oh my God, it's such a low bar. Well, let me tell you, to me, these are as important years of life as the building blocks of the 30s and the 40s were. This is it. This is my big grand finale, and I'll tell you what, I have no confusion. Time is my most valuable commodity, and I take every minute of it seriously. Excuse me, Mr. Fuzzy takes it seriously too. He never wants to be petted when I'm doing nothing. It's always when I'm doing a podcast. So I've got a few great sayings from guys that I really admire. Some of them in rock and roll, some of them in health. But I will say, for me, one of my very favorites is Ozzy Osbourne, who recently passed. And frankly, had no business being 76 years old. I mean, my God, I don't know anybody, I cannot in recent history think of anybody that abused their body more than Ozzy Osbourne. And yet it was just his karma and his fate to live into his 70s. He said, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. You've got to be your own biggest fan, even when you're at your worst. And there were plenty of times when he really took it to the edge. But that is so true. If I listen to everybody that tells me what I should be doing now in my 80s, I wouldn't be doing anything. I would be like sofa surfing, watching Lifetime movies, which occasionally, I'll tell you, when my brain gets tired, I do. I also love the saying from Keith Richards, no one wants to grow old, but no one wants to die young. I'm going to edit that a little into saying everybody wants to live longer, but not older. And that is truly the theme of the society we live in. No, you shouldn't change like the seasons. You should remain forever Kim Kardashian young and perfect. You should have natural filters all around you for your entire life, and you will never disappoint. But The other thing I find, and literally every person I meet, 95% of them way younger than me, even use the same terminology. Like, wow, good for you. You get out of the house. I said, well, excuse me, you think that's a major attribute or a contribution to society? What should I be doing? And their vision is at 80, you should be lounging around on the sofa with a bunch of half-eaten bags of heavily processed chips, watching junk TV, and generally gaining weight and becoming more mobility challenged every day. You know, if you are looking for a great life after 60, after 70, after 80, I want you to understand one thing. No one's going to give it to you. It's on you. You have got to get into intentional living. Let me give you an example. All my life, I went up and down, yo-yo dieting, heavy, not heavy, heavy, not heavy. Finally, after breast cancer, which was about 7 years ago, and I gained 30, 35 pounds of water weight on steroids, I decided, God, really, seriously, I've got to get this weight off. It's killing my knees, it's killing my ankles, and it's now or never. I have started treating food as medicine. Now, yeah, I could have naughty food, like I made blueberry pancakes this morning. But using egg whites, using non-gluten flour, fresh blueberries, a vegan-based butter, and almond milk. The other thing is, people say to me all the time too, well, what do you mean you're only eating one meal a day? Hey, I'm 80. I know I am not as active. I've got knee aches, I've got ankle aches, whatever it is. I'm not burning the kind of calories I used to. I don't need giant meals. And frankly, I've sort of found a really healthy rhythm in intermittent fasting, and I enjoy it. I like it. Living my best life, 80 and onward, is about me making intentionally healthy, supportive choices. The other thing that is amazing to me, people don't think you have a future. They don't think you, well, okay, and if you don't have a future, and that would be a lot of major companies that have a huge product base, like Coca-Cola, they want to grab their customers when they are, I was reading a report about it, 5 years old, and keep them addicted to a product that has a ton of caffeine and a ton of sugar in it all their lives. So when you get to be 80, nobody cares about you because they think, well, maybe you got 1 year left, 2 years left, 3 years left. Hey, wake up, people. It's not a coincidence that I know 3 different people, all who recently passed at 101, 102, and 103. My philosophy is if you've got the will, if you've got the interest, if you've got the curiosity, if you see life as a miracle the way I do, you're going to come pretty close to living forever. As long as you want to live, you probably will get the chance to live. And as to my future, I'm going to say this very proudly. I don't like to talk about it too much because I'm so superstitious. But at 79, I spent a year, as I was starting my podcast, writing a screenplay, co-writing a screenplay, the story of my life. Most of which nobody knows. Very dramatic, parts of it very, very dark. Parts of it illogically amazing and successful. And I'm in the process of meeting with a producer. Yes, people are actually interested. And would it be the capstone of my career? It would be deeply meaningful to me and very joyous moment to be able to share all of my climbing of the life of Mount Everest 1,000 times, falling down, picking myself up, getting my mountain gear and trying again and getting to the summit. It's a life that had a focus, still has a purpose, and the purpose is, I think, going to be very meaningful and helping women understand you have got to carve out your own place in this current universe. Don't sit back and wait for someone else to do it for you, and especially not if you are a female over 55 or 60 and you're really questioning, what hell am I doing here? Who am I supposed to be now? I'm too old to be a mother. I like being a grandmother, but there's got to be more than that. I'm not at work anymore, but I can't be retired for the rest of my life. And really and totally, I swear, I was retired for 4.5 weeks. When somebody got in touch with me and said, hey, you want to co-host a podcast? And I started to learn how to do that. I will tell you that since I was about 75 years old, 5 years ago, and I was just at that tipping point of truly getting over chemotherapy and radiation and a double mastectomy and everything that goes along with it. I have had and realized I created for myself so many opportunities. I didn't have to sit down every weekend and write 1,000 words, 2,000 words, 3,000 words, and write a screenplay of my life and go over it again and again and again, and what was right and what was wrong and what sounded more exciting. And I did it because I knew I had to do it. I had to go on being a creative entity. So I say to anybody who's entering their 70s or their 80s or their 60s, any decade birthday is a big birthday. Start to put together, even journal is good. Who are you? What is the essence of you? Are you a creative? Are you a giver? Are you a nurturer? I knew that I was a creative. I didn't know after fashion, which was truly, truly the love of my life. What was I going to do with myself? But you know what? I learned that skill of talking to a TV camera, telling stories, and now I could tell my own individual, maybe more meaningful, personal observations. But do not go by the bar that people are taught in a society that worships the young, that the bar is that low. It's almost insulting. People expect nothing from me. So every time I accomplish something big, they're like, oh my God. Yeah, well, I mean, I like all of that accolade, but the real truth is, I'm so much more. And that's part of getting to be 80. And I will tell you that, and I say it again because we're coming up to October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I honestly was taught by cancer even more of who I am, but more importantly, who I needed to be to sail into. Let's just call it what it is, folks. Old age, nothing wrong with that. At 80, I would have never, ever been humble enough to admit all the rough edges I had that had to be filed down, all the sharp words I'd said in my life that needed to be softened, all the selfish intentions that needed to become so much more charitable and altruistic. And I wound up through breast cancer with a life of appreciation, gratitude, forgiveness, kindness, self-love, still working on that one, acceptance, and closing all chapters. Don't drag around the darkness with you. There's no time for it now. What are the beauties? If you are a person that works well with pressure and tension, and I do, and sometimes you won't get me to do something until I'm under so much pressure, there's no way out. There's only one door out, and I've got to open that particular door. This is not a dress rehearsal at 80. This is full-blown, we're in the third act of a great Broadway musical. The gigantic final song is about to be performed. The cast is all out on the stage. You're given all of this. Living life out loud, living your best life, and what are you going to do about it? And most people never recognize that opportunity, never think of grabbing it and taking it and living it. But the interesting thing was, number one, I was born to a set of much older parents. 1945, my mother was 45. My father was 50, very unique. And I saw what they did, with their elder years, and I was not going to sit around cutting out coupons from a weekly grocery store newsletter. I made myself a promise from the time I was old enough to be cognizant that I was going to live every single minute to its fullest. Now, in line, Mr. Fuzzy is saying, "Yep, me too, Mommy." I know that when I was younger, living life to the fullest was also party your butt off, right? Like it's 1999. The way seasons change, we have to change. And as you get older and you have to recognize your energy level, which is your next most valuable commodity beyond your comprehension of time, it's going to be different. You know, I have to get more sleep. I have to be very mindful of how I use my energy. I don't want to use my energy for disagreements or fighting or competition. Or I want to use it only in the most positive light beam kind of way. And the other thing, I say this to you also. I really respect the medical community. They saved my life. I was very, very, very irresponsible about what I did with my body. I just burned it out. And I was in a very toxic business environment. And that's basically how I got cancer. So with that knowledge, and you're all like me carrying around tons of knowledge from major bullet points of your life where you learned a lesson, even if you didn't want to learn it, take that and apply it to wherever you're at now. You know, I met Tony Robbins, and he was on Firewalk. He was on QVC for years, and he has a new longevity company. And he has an incredible saying, which I think truly applies to the older female. A healthy person has 1,000 wishes they can choose from to fulfill. A sick person has only one to get healthy again. So if you are in either category, if you are healthy, take that seriously. Start to write down your wishes. I don't care how crazy they are. I don't care how out of the box they are. Maybe that's better that they're out of the box. So when one comes true, and you have to make it come true, you are prouder, you are more aware of your power to manifest. If I truly do get the screen treatment I co-wrote into a Lifetime movie or a Netflix movie about my life, I mean, that's the capstone. That is me saying, a dream is a wish your heart makes, right? The old Disney movie. A dream is a wish your heart makes. And what if you really believe that and pursue it and make that dream come true? For me, it would be a lifetime of developing my skills, of looking for more skills I can add to it, of being the best person I can be, of having to face the most scary thing I could ever face, cancer and cancer treatment, alone, and not only getting through it, but never being bitter about it, feeling like it was the greatest learning curve of my life. And then here I am, selling myself as usual. And you know what? I'm used to being an old girl in a young girl's world. I didn't develop the DG2 middle-aged gene for HSN and QVC International until I was 60. That's when I premiered it, and my life skyrocketed and changed. Changed for the better, obviously. Fulfilled a lot of dreams for me, refurbished and replenished my belief in myself, gave me a reason to be proud of all the years I sacrificed and developed my talent. That was my baby. That was my most precious commodity. And here I am again. And I didn't even take a heartbeat to do it. Almost the minute I retired from tele-retail, and I really had to. It was just my physical capabilities had so changed from heavy-duty chemotherapy and radiation and surgery. It was not, I was no longer appropriate for what it called out that had to be done physically. Let's keep the heartbeat. I went into learning something new. podcasting. And frankly, even though I had written 3 books that were autobiographical, it's very different writing a screenplay and how you put it together and how you string together the timing of it. And I was fascinated. Now, would you guess that somebody would do that at the age of 79 and 80 and then go out and sell themselves and pitch it? Yeah. And you want to know something? It led me to meeting some fascinating and absolutely brilliant people. I was always in the fringes of the entertainment industry. That alone was a big thrill, and also in its own way feels kind of familiar. And here I am at 80 years old, about a month after I turned 80, August 18th, crafting a new life for myself. There may be television movies. Who knows? You know what? The odds are 1,000,000 to 1, but I've been there before. And if you love it enough, the whole idea of it, what it's going to do for you, what it's going to do for others. Hey, have I got anything better to do than to take 1,000,000 to 1 chance? There will be one who's going to make it. Why not have it be me? And in a way, at 80, it almost is like nothing left to lose. So go for it. Believe in it. Pray for it. Wish for it. Make it happen. I would say to all of you females, we don't age the way men do. Men are almost valued and nurtured as they age. And we are sort of kicked to the side of the road and don't even seem necessary anymore. And actually, I think a lot of people would be relieved if we weren't even visible anymore. But don't let anybody sell you that picture. One thing I love about being 80 and marrying all that knowledge and life experience to new projects. And where I am right now, I feel it gives me an advantage. I feel like it makes me smarter. And don't deny your age. One thing I do, I always tell people the truth. I'll always tell them I'm 80 years old. And yeah, it's different. Don't expect this to be the same territory. You can get away with being 30, 40, 50. I'm going to give it that range, those 3 decades, and kind of cruise through that and not change too much. But 80 is very particular. And I require or demand a certain amount of respect and a certain amount of leeway and understanding that I'm not as physically nimble as I used to be, but mentally I still am. And I make it very clear to people that if you're 30 and you're working for me, the one thing you've got to do is adjust your sense of time, because 30 says, I'll do it at 40, I'll do it at 50. I don't have that kind of time luxury. I want it. I need it. It's got to be done now. Ladies, there's nobody who treasures good skin more than me. As someone who's been on television for 30 years, always in front of a camera, and now as a podcaster, and I have to say that one of my major tricks to staying young with smooth skin is Sleep and Glow pillow. And you're saying, really, Diane? A pillow? Yeah. The way this is configured, your skin never, especially if you're a side sleeper like me, your skin never gets scrunched down and in. You never wake up with those overnight wrinkles, which eventually will go from temporary to permanent. It is comfortable. It sets your neck and your spine in the right configuration, but most of all, no more of those deep creases when you wake up and look in the mirror. It's like, whoa. So it is a game changer. And if your skin is aging, if you are in your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, like me, and you really want to slow down, that the visual hands of time, you need a Sleep and Glow pillow. And I'll tell you what, you're going to love it once you start using it, because great skin always starts when you sleep. So use my code below for a discount at sleepandglow.com and start sleeping smarter and start sleeping more beautiful. I ask you all to participate in your own life and your own aging process. Because the one thing I always feel, and I see it a lot, is people lose control. They don't think they have any chance of control. They seem to wait around for permission, and no one really is going to give it to you. Anybody younger is struggling and fighting for and crafting and building their own life. We are all, whether you're 20 or you're 80, living within our own moment. Recognize it, see it, and take heed. There will never be another moment like there is right now. And for all of us, and certainly for me at 80, today is the youngest day of my life going forward. I'm going to love it. I'm going to cherish it, and I'm going to take advantage of it. Cheers. Thank you so much for listening to Too Young to Be Old podcast. The episode may be over, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Diane Gilman, or visit our website, thedianegilman.com. If you like the show, leave us a rating or a review and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And until then, don't forget, age is just a number. Together, we'll prove that we are all too young to be old.